And we're back with our final segment of the Screen Team here on today's Talk, 930 KWOC, being brought to you by Whitworth Gift Chest Jewelers, Poplar, Bluff Drywall, and 33 Productions. Our final film we got is the brand new film in theaters now called Muppets Most Wanted, and it's the sequel to The Muppets, which came out back in 2011. And guys, what happened to the Muppets? They
saved the theater, they saved the day, they got back together, and everything was great.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's our whole movie, or that was
the end of the first one? That was the end of the first one.
All right. So they save the day. What happens after they save the day? How does this film start?
They start off by singing a song called "We're Gonna Make a Sequel."
Right. It reveals in this one that they had just finished filming that last movie.
Right.
And then they're kind of starting over again. So, like, what all happened in the last movie was just a movie in their universe for this film as a sequel. And the cool thing about this movie, like a lot of Muppets, it's very tongue-in-cheek. It's a wink and a nod at the audience, and it's very self-aware. And this film, they even mentioned in this one, sequels are never as good as the original.
Yeah.
And it was fun. And this one wasn't quite as good as the one from 2011, but it was still a lot of fun. The laughs were big, and they were pretty constant, and just the way I like it.
And there wasn't a real big love song, really. I mean, Piggy had her moment.
Sure.
But still, it was actually much more tolerable than it was in the first one.
The music was actually done by the same guy who did the music in the first one. And let me get his name here really quickly. Kermit the Frog.
And Kermit.
And Kermit. So let's talk about the Constantine.
Yeah.
I like Constantine a lot, man. He looks like Kermit the Frog.
He's got a mole.
But he's evil.
Yeah, that's what the people have been wanting for years, right? An evil
evil
Kermit the Frog.
That's right, man.
I gotta tell you, though, in the very first segment, when he's jumping around and flipping around, and I was just like, I looked over at Chris, I'm like, Muppet Star Wars, there's Yoda. Yeah. That's what I saw.
The guy who did the music in the first Muppet movie was Brett McKenzie, who, if you know him from the Flight of the Conchords series from HBO, he did the music again in this one, and he won an Oscar for Muppet or a Man, and he did the music again for this one.
That was a good song. I enjoyed that a lot.
I think it's
Jermaine Clements, who is his partner on Flight of the Conchords, was one of the main prisoners at the Siberian prison, which
it's
Kermit
business time.
That's right.
So I liked the music in this one. I liked, I don't know if there's anything really too memorable like is in the first one, but I thought the music, did a good job of moving the story along. And I would say that this film isn't as good as the first one. It's not a classic kind of Muppet film, but I still had a good time, and I think the kids that we took had a good time as well. So I think it's definitely worth people's time and money to at least go see it. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Matt.
Okay. I really enjoyed it. I'm a Muppets fan, so I'm kind of biased going into it. I'll always be a kid at heart for these.
You're generous with your Muppetry.
I am. I'm very generous with these not quite a puppet, not quite a mop kind of characters. And this is definitely a good film to take a family to go and see. It's not a classic like I think Lego Movie or Frozen, how they were. Yeah. But this is still a good film, and it's a good, good popcorn kind of film. I liked the musical choices. The score was nice in this film, and they also had some good choices as far as like classic rock songs and actual hits that they played. Like they played Doobie Brothers at one point.
I was like,
some traveling tunes.
Yeah, every movie needs more Doobie Brothers.
That's a good point. Very good point.
You compare this to a classic in the making, the Lego Movie, and I just have to throw something at you right now.
What's some Legos?
How dare you put the Lego Movie in a classification with a Muppet movie? You should know better.
Well, what did I say? I said that it wasn't the same. It wasn't as good. So
exactly. What are you talking about?
The
Muppet movie was better than the Lego Movie.
Oh, really? You thought so?
Yes.
Hold on. Which Muppet movie?
The one we just saw. I would rather see this again than go see the Lego Movie.
I can't agree with you on that.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Wow.
I had fun with this film, but like Lego Movie changed my life for the better.
What? Oh my
Not really,
gosh.
but it was great. I felt more like a kid again watching Lego Movie.
I respect you so much that now I feel like I have to rent the Lego Movie just to give it another shot.
You should. You should own it too.
I will own the Muppet Most Wanted movie. There's no doubt about that.
I've been meaning to buy the first one too, so go ahead and buy the second.
Yeah,
We'll trade
yeah.
off.
We'll trade off.
There you go.
Okay, I got both.
Yeah. Sadly, this film isn't doing as well at the box office, and I feel like we'll probably go into another Muppet lull for another 10 or 20 years like it was in the 90s.
I think that has to do with the weather.
It could be that too.
You think so?
Oh,
Hopefully
absolutely.
it'll be a hit with the DVD audience.
I'll also say that, like in our area here, that it had to compete with God's Not Dead at the theaters this weekend.
Oh, right. Yeah, it did.
Which is doing. I mean, they're selling out that show.
Excellent.
This one may have to stick around a lot longer in order to bring in the box office numbers. Elsewhere in the country, could be killing it. I don't know, but
Yeah.
I can
Well,
see
it's
it's
said that
really
it's not.
paired up against a hard movie to compete with. A couple of others are out there that I think that part of that is the movies that it's out there with.
Sure.
There aren't
I
any
think
just
Divergent
real
took over
killer
number
movies,
one.
but yeah.
Yeah.
It's just that there's also the weather transition is going to cause people to just, hey, let's go hang out outside. It's nice instead of
Right.
going to the movies.
Yeah, it's not until the summer that you have the blockbusters. Usually
Right.
the spring's the antithesis of that. Frozen did the same thing. It had to compete with Catching Fire, and then it did even more money
Yeah.
than Catching Fire. It was a slow build.
Different audience.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
that was well timed, actually. That was
Yeah.
good.
Very good film. Also, Frozen, by the way, I kind of feel like it's completely overrated by every female demographic I've met and encountered. But it's still a very good film. I'd say definitely check it out as well. But this one, I would like for it to get a little bit more credit.
Yeah, Muppets Most Wanted.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun, and I like the cameos, but there were a lot of them in there. I didn't know who they were.
Yeah, they kind of did them really, really fast, which is really
Right,
unusual
really
for
smart.
The
a
thing
Muppet
is
movie.
that the little ones next to us, they were naming them off like that. Oh, that's so and so. Oh gosh, that's just so and so. I was like, wow,
There are
I don't
only
even
a
know
few
who
that I
that
didn't
is.
know, one of which was Josh Groban. I was like, he looks familiar.
I
Yeah.
could
Who's that guy? Every
Hear
woman that I
him.
knew, you knew it was like, oh, it's Josh Groban. He's so dreamy. And I was like, I guess. I don't know. You can sing. That's cool.
He's one of those guys that's much more handsome when he's singing. True.
I am Kermit.
Kermit.
Kermit the Frog. I like Constantine.
I like
man.
Tina Fey. I have to give her total props because she was like the highlight. The total slapstick comedy of this movie was it was all Tina on that, and
You didn't
props
like,
to her.
You didn't like Ricky Gervais, number 2?
I thought he did a good job.
He did a really good job, but he was outshined by Tina Fey, I think.
In some ways, his sense
think
of
it was
humor is very
designed that way.
self-deprecating,
Yeah.
and that goes along with his shtick and his
I
comedy
saw the
bits as well.
host, the
Yeah, exactly.
host. That's what I saw. I saw him doing the whole. What did he host again? What was it? What?
Golden Globes.
Yeah, he hosted the
Yeah.
Golden. I saw him hosting the Golden Globes as bad guy.
As bad guy.
Bad guy.
That's great.
He's number 2, just like you.
Baji.
You're number 2. I am number 1.
Let's not forget Ray Liotta's star-making performance as one of the prisoners. Prisoner number 2, I guess.
Yeah.
Big Papa. That was his name in the
Big
film.
Papa.
And of course, oh man, I forgot his name. What's
Frank Langella.
No, not Frank Langella.
He was the priest.
No.
No,
What was the other?
you're talking about Machete.
Machete.
Danny Trejo, you're right.
Danny
He did steal
Trejo
the
was in
show.
there.
Good night, Danny Trejo. Probably my favorite part of the film. That he always plays that character, and he's become, it's known as the Danny Trejo character, and now finally, they actually called him Danny Trejo in
Yeah.
the movie. It was terrific.
All right, guys. So Muppets Most Wanted, you can find it in theaters today. Matt, thank you for coming on, man. It's good to see you.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Sabrina,
Yo.
number 2.
You're
You're going to be back next week.
going to be sleeping in bed number 2 for that one.
You're going to be back next week with Laura, and we're going to be doing something kind of different. We're not going to be really reviewing any movies, but we're going to be kind of,
We're going to be reviewing movies, right?
well, yeah,
We're giving a list.
we're giving a list. It's like a list show, our guilty pleasure list.
Ooh, that's right.
So we'll be going over our guilty pleasure kind of movies that maybe we don't want people knowing we like.
It's not always a movie that you're going to tell everybody else they need to watch. It's just a movie that brings you pleasure, gives you comfort. You could go and watch this movie by yourself and you don't care that nobody else is there.
Very good.
That's
I like
a good.
that.
That's a good description. Although I've seen both your lists, you have some awesome movies on there that I would practically put on my business card that I watch them and that you should watch them.
Note to the cameras, he's looking at Chris.
Well,
I'm looking at both of you guys.
I'll be explaining why I put them on there, so you'll have to listen to the show.
Right,
I
and
definitely
we
will.
want to send people to our Facebook page, the Screen Team, Poplar Bluff, because we have also invited all of the Screen Teamers
Yes.
to share with us their guilty pleasures. And while Laura, Chris, and I will be talking about ours, we want to make sure that everybody goes and checks out all the guilty pleasure lists available now on Facebook.
Very true. Sabrina, Matt, and Chris, we are the Screen Team here on Today's Talk 930 KWOC.